I'd really like to take the time to acknowledge that. It's beautiful seeing all of you in person. It's wonderful seeing you on the screen who's joined in on Zoom. Tan, excellent job setting this up. Honestly, I've been to many hybrid meetings, and this is the smoothest of any that I have seen. So fantastic job. Tonight's topic comes because of something that happened yesterday that I'm very, very ashamed of. I was getting angry. I was working hard all day. I had to load up trash in my truck and pull weeds, and I was exhausted. I still had work to do, and I still had what always heavies on my shoulders, a want to save the world with poetry. No matter what's going on in the world, that is always, always, always first and foremost on my soul. How can I somehow find the right magic words that'll, in the right combination, in the right delivery and timing, help the world just be nice and be more empathetic and not be so quick to anger. And this was inspired because I get crying. I cried every day, pretty much every day, thinking about what's going on in the world, the news stories that we hear. And I have a unique perspective is that when I hear these news stories, I have a little taste of what it's like to be inside those crime scenes, what it's like to be on the other side of that yellow tape that you only see a news camera's lens of, coming out of a scene. And with that, I have this awareness that when I hear the news and I hear all these words that don't appreciate people, that don't see the good in others, and yet those are the loudest voices, and yet those are the voices that want to control destiny for all of us. It's hard for me to be distracted by anything at all, whatever it is, pulling weeds, whatever. But what I have found is we need to be resourceful. And there is a Buddhist quote that I looked for but couldn't find. And I only have limited knowledge of what is literature within the Buddhist faith. But wisdom is eternal, it's universal, and every oracle of every religion just tries to find truth and put it into words that we can understand. So basically, desire is the root of unhappiness. For desire in itself is a longing for something other than what is, therefore making it an endless abyss. On the other hand, desire is the root of ambition. There can be no achievement without ambition. In such juxtaposition of truth is where this poet finds daily torment, churning like surf at the shore. For tranquility's sake, it is best to be free from wants. So that what I did yesterday that embarrassed me so bad wouldn't have happened. I wanted to be somewhere else. I wanted to be home. I wanted to be tackling what's going on. I didn't want to be on the road behind this driver that was taking too long to see that the light was green and it was time to go through. And they were taking so dang long that I did what is a cardinal sin to anybody who wants peace on earth. And I gave them the finger. Oh my God. There's no excuse for that. There isn't. Because anger just breeds anger. And especially for me, when I used to teach first aid and CPR, I would ask the class before class started, has anyone here ever had to use first aid or CPR? Raise your hand. And I'd go around. And one woman told me at the time that she was following her husband on the road. And someone cut off her husband. So what did her husband do? Gave him the one finger salute. Well, that person, they got into a road rage situation, made to pull over, and this guy got out of his car, shot the man in the head in front of his own kids and killed him for giving the finger. So for me, that's like, you just don't do that. You just don't do that because it's wrong. It's rude. There's a million reasons why somebody could be going slow, too slow. And who the heck am I to impose my want to be somewhere else, my want, my desire on the reality that's happening? So much so that I'm willing to break everything that I stand for and believe in and give someone the finger. And as I realized how stupid it was, I stay back and this person's going slow. And then they turn into the high school. And I'm thinking of all things. One, it's on Bancroft Avenue, a street I am on all the time. I love teachers. So anyone involved in education is a hero to me, whom I love, whom I will extol with great praise. But here I am. Maybe it wasn't a teacher, maybe it was a student driver. Maybe it was the first time maybe mom and dad said, hey, why don't you drive us to this event today? You know, and they get in their car and they're going slow. You know, I don't know, but here this idiot behind them being a jerk. Glad I didn't beat my horn. I just expressed myself. But we are electromagnetic creatures. You can't hide that stuff. If you feel it, other people feel it also. So the best way to make peace is to be resourceful and just find whatever you can to change your perspective if you have to, because anger does not help. And I have found that you can have the most profound truths to say, but if you start raising your voice because you want people to hear it, you can be sure that people will shut their ears. And it don't matter how true it is that you're saying what you're saying, people's hearts start racing, their ears start pumping, and they can't even hear what you're saying. And the only thing that's happening in their mind is, you're being a prick, you need to stop. And I can't hear what you're saying anyway, so I don't even have to listen to you because you already broke the rule of disrespectful communication. So anger doesn't help. The best way to make peace on earth is to have empathy. And if we start feeling anger, it's to recognize it, to recognize where it's coming from. And it's usually because we want something more than reality is allowing to be, because we want to be somewhere. You know, do you get mad when everything's going great and you're flowing fine in traffic and everything's going exactly like you planned? No, it's when things aren't going as planned that we need to be mindful and not do what I did, and which I'm ashamed for and say out loud, because that was uncalled for. If we want peace on earth, we have to be the expression of it, even when we want to express something else. So I don't go over my time. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph.